Tonight, a grieving mother.
She was always happy, always just friendly with everybody. She made the world seem good in that sense.
And the charges now filed over the death of her daughter.
Extremely difficult. And the sense of like there's no closure.
The difficult path forward from a tragedy. Bracing for a bill.
This could be easily over $1,000 for something that I've been dealing with all winter.
A Kitchener homeowner's experience with the sidewalk clearing rule. Plus, crunched by the cost of kibble.
Pet food prices have actually gone up as much as human food prices, really. In some cases, actually even more.
The places pet parents are turning.
There's been a steady increase month by month, year by year.
To fight the climbing cost of feeding canines and cats.
Good evening. We are hearing tonight from the mother of a 3-year-old girl who was fatally struck in Cambridge. 7 weeks after the incident, regional police announced yesterday that the driver of the vehicle involved has been charged. Let's go to CTV's Krista Simpson now for more. Krista.
Tony, Waterloo Regional Police described the charge as significant and one they lay only after a thorough investigation. Still, the young victim's mother says it's been a painful 7 weeks waiting for the update and facing life without her little girl. Remembering a 3-year-old girl who brought joy to everyone.
She was always happy, always just friendly with everybody. She made the world seem good in that sense.
On December 11th, Cheyenne Shea was walking with her daughter, who was in a stroller, in the area of Westgate Plaza on Cedar Street in Cambridge. They were on the sidewalk, crossing the driveway where vehicles enter and exit the shopping centre when they were hit by a driver. Shea says after they were struck, she hit the hood of the vehicle and yelled, trying to get the driver to stop.
I thought, like, he'd stop, but he didn't stop. He just kept going.
Her daughter was fatally injured and died in hospital. 7 weeks later, Waterloo Regional Police announced a 75-year-old Cambridge man has been charged with dangerous operation causing death, a criminal charge, as well as having an obstructed windshield. Shea says waiting 7 weeks for charges to be laid has been hard.
Extremely difficult. The sense of like there's no closure, and that he's just kind of been able to go about living and existing, and I feel like my whole life is gone.
The investigation into any vehicular death or fatality is always a complex and lengthy process that involves an extensive examination of various types of evidence and other witness information, video, and technical analysis.
Waterloo Regional Police say dangerous operation causing death is a significant charge, and a driver found guilty of it can face serious consequences.
The possibility for significant imprisonment, lengthy license suspensions, and other sanctions can be levied by the court.
Following the crash, Cambridge councillors agreed to ask the region to look at implementing changes on this stretch of Cedar Street. Council passing a motion that asks that the speed limit in the area be reduced to 40 kilometers an hour as an immediate safety measure. They're also asking for a pedestrian safety review. In a statement, the region's Transportation Department says, we've received the motion from City of Cambridge Council and are waiting on WRPS to finish their investigation before determining next steps. Shea says she wishes there had been safety improvements in the area a long time ago.
These changes should have happened years ago, and that they haven't is more of a reason that, like, I feel that maybe there was a chance that she'd still be here.
As she grieves the loss of her little girl.
Every day is different. I still wake up waiting, hoping that I can just go in there and wake her up and live my normal day that I'm supposed to with her, and she's not there anymore.
The charges have yet to be tested in court. The 75-year-old driver will make an appearance in April. Tony.
Krista Simpson reporting. Krista, thank you. Time now for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon in studio for all the details. And heading into the weekend, Ash, didn't see a heck of a lot of sun today.
No, it wasn't sunny, but the good news was we didn't get a lot of snow either. So we got to find that happy middle place. Unfortunately, though, Tony, the cold is going to be lasting a little longer than we were hoping. Environment Canada issuing or extending rather this extreme cold warning for another day or so, at least until Saturday morning. We are expecting wind chill values near -25 to -30. And as we've said all week, when it's that cold, frostbite can be an issue very quickly. So if you are headed out tonight, make sure you are covering up your hands and face and neck as much as you can in order to protect your skin, of course. It is going to be another frigid night out there. Right now in Waterloo region, we're looking at -13 as our current temperature. Winds from the west at 15 kilometers an hour, but already starting to feel much cooler than that at -20 with the wind chill. So those temperatures are going to continue, but the good news is, Tony, we're expecting to see a lot more sun throughout the weekend.
Okay, we'll see you shortly for those details. Ash, thank you. The recent cold snap's been uncomfortable, but for people living without a home, it can be deadly. In Stratford, the first overnight warming center opened this winter, a last refuge for those experiencing homelessness. And as we hear from CTV's Jeff Pickle, it is badly needed.
So these are storage bins that are accessible by any individual who is unhoused.
A stack of tote bins with the belongings of the 20-plus people coming here to stay out of the cold.
So right from the beginning, I think we had 10 people our first night, and it's just steadily grown from there.
With the recent cold snap, staff say their numbers have jumped from 15 people per night to consistently over 20.
So really the warming center is about keeping people safe and warm in those overnight hours.
The warming center has no beds. It is not technically a shelter. It's a made in Stratford solution to create a warm space for people to spend the night.
A couple of years ago, one of our outreach workers actually found one of our participants laying in a snowbank, and he was near hypothermic. He was really struggling, and we were able to bring him in and get connected to supports and ensure that, you know, his safety wasn't at risk any longer.
Staff say the reality is, without the warming center, many of their clients would be forced to sleep outside in areas like this.
We can provide them a space to be safe and to be warm, and yeah, in some cases that is life-saving. So I think that I can confidently say that the ER is likely seeing far fewer people overnight.
The Canadian Mental Health Association, who helped run the facility, say they hope the space is not a permanent fixture.
We've recognized a deep need for supportive housing in this community, and it's being built. But while that's happening, we realize that there's a bit of work that needs to be done to keep people safe and warm.
But they say until permanent homes can be found, this humble space is critical.
So we're very, very fortunate to have this space, and we appreciate it, but I think the number of people that we are seeing shows that there's going to be a need for expansion. There's going to be a need for increased services.
The Stratford Council of Churches is hosting a fundraising campaign starting in March to fund the warming center for as long as it's required. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
A Kitchener homeowner is upset because he has to pay up after the city sent a snow removal crew to clear his sidewalk. He says that is despite the fact that he uses his snowblower regularly and his neighbors' sidewalks were in the same condition. CTV's Spencer Turcott reports.
Quite the surprise to come home to on Thursday for Brian Sandow. A crew with heavy machinery clearing his sidewalk.
I was kind of at a loss. I was like, well, if you look around, like, why are you at my house specifically when my sidewalks actually look better than the road itself, which the city is responsible for? Day after day of snowfall and plows don't come by and do the streets.
Sandow says earlier this month, after returning home from out of town, the city of Kitchener did give a warning.
Everything seemed to be pretty good except for where the sidewalk connects to the road. There was a little 4-inch bump there. So I got my chipper out and cleaned it up and thought, okay, well, you know, that's good.
It turns out it was not good, at least by city standards. Sandow says he takes pride in keeping things clear.
I'm out here every day after work with a snowblower, and I have nice clean edges.
When CTV News contacted the City of Kitchener about sidewalk clearing standards, they provided information from their website indicating sidewalks around properties must be cleared of snow and ice within 24 hours of a snowfall, and they must be maintained to bare pavement. Trouble is, it's been one of the coldest and snowiest winters in recent memory, so removing snow right down to the concrete is tricky.
I put salt down, but salt is only effective down to -9, -10. After that, it's just a waste. Nothing has been down to the concrete of the pavement, including the city streets or their sidewalks.
Sandow wonders why the city is only going after certain properties.
So as you can see, this is the property line, but this is what my sidewalk looked like, and that wasn't sufficient. This is what they've become.
He does live on a corner lot and says he is mindful about ensuring there is pedestrian access to the road. Despite being diligent, he fears what the bill for this work will be.
So this could be easily over $1,000 for something that I've been dealing with all winter.
A winter he won't soon forget. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News Kitchener.
For the final time this morning, night shift workers at Oshawa's General Motors plant left that plant. The third shift has been eliminated as of today, but the fallout could continue for some time. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
In the dark of early morning, the night shift at Oshawa's General Motors plant heads home for the last time. 500 people out of work as their jobs shift to the U.S.
Members are scared. The morale's terrible in the plant right now. You know, they're worried about how they're going to pay their bills, provide for their families.
Unifor says with the elimination of the third shift, another 500 related jobs have been slashed.
We have a plan.
The Premier promised yesterday
We're going to make sure that they have opportunities in the defense sector, life science sector.
People don't want to be retrained. They want to make good money in the auto industry right now.
Speaking with other workers in London, Ontario's NDP leader calls the loss of the third shift in Oshawa devastating and frustrating too.
Some of this, we've seen this coming, and I'm concerned that the government has not acted with the urgency that it requires.
Calling for a different approach to keep auto workers on the assembly line.
But we can't expect manufacturers to produce in this country when we have a completely uncompetitive environment.
From Oshawa, a plea to find a path forward with a neighbor.
We need a trade deal with the United States of America, not China, not Korea.
Not encouraged by the possibility of foreign-owned automakers opening plants in Ontario.
It's not thousands of people. They come in crates, they come in boxes, and people just plug things in.
A new auto strategy is coming in a matter of weeks. The Premier says it must include backing off the EV mandate that so far has only been paused. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
From Beetlejuice to Best in Show, SCTV to Schitt's Creek, Catherine O'Hara conquered the worlds of film and television. The iconic comedic actor died today at the age of 71 following what her agents say was a brief illness. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver looks back at O'Hara's life and career.
We set the timers on the lights.
Considered a cultural trailblazer and the queen of improv,
Kevin!
Catherine O'Hara had a rare ability to give complex and often eccentric characters depth and humanity. A craft she mastered at the famed improv theater Second City in her hometown of Toronto. She started there waiting tables.
Want to fall in love?
But in 1974, her love for acting would land her a role on the hugely successful Second City television.
Gonna be a frosty snow girl. I'm gonna deck your halls.
She had no formal training, but O'Hara's enthusiastic spirit and determination quickly made her an award-winning star in Canada.
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
Propelling her to international fame with roles in hit movies from Beetlejuice
What the? Are you all right?
to the mockumentary comedy film Best in Show.
I sense there's something in the wind.
And the cult classic animated movie The Nightmare Before Christmas.
My bag! It's gone!
But one of the roles she's best known for, Moira Rose in the hit show Schitt's Creek.
Crocodile bag, the one my mother gave me!
Her performance in the Canadian production was met with critical acclaim and garnered her multiple acting awards.
I would love to stand up here and tell you this was all just a walk in the cake, but it wasn't.
At one of her last appearances at TIFF just 4 months ago, O'Hara thanked her longtime friend and colleague, Eugene Levy.
When I think of my happiest days in this adventure and show business,
I realize most of them have been with you.
An adventure in show business that spanned more than 50 years. O'Hara was 71. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
In spite of her stardom, Catherine O'Hara was down to earth and rooted in Toronto, never taking herself too seriously as she made audiences laugh through so many beloved characters. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more on O'Hara's hometown connection.
From her zany performance in Beetlejuice to her iconic roles in Schitt's Creek and as Kevin McAllister's mom. Kevin! Catherine O'Hara lit up the screen, bringing laughter and heart to fans around the world, and right here in her hometown.
Oh, I'm a little sad. Yeah, she was everybody's mom, Home Alone mom, right? Yeah, it was pretty sad.
She's hilarious, and I think we'll all feel a little bit like we're home alone now without her. Yes.
Audacious and vibrant roles in Hollywood made her a household name. But before any of that, she landed a job at the Second City with that notorious crew in Toronto.
She was actually serving drinks when Second City opened and was an understudy to the main stage. And then when she stepped up, she became part of the original SCTV cast. She actually got cast on SNL in the 80s and stepped away from that to come back and finish SCTV. I know this place meant a lot to her.
It's a place where O'Hara also means a lot to the people now at the Comedy Hub.
She's completely authentic. You can see that in both her eyes and her voice. She had a voice that wasn't compromised in any way. She had very acerbic wit. This combination of being both warm but also like there's a cutting edge to it.
And is being remembered fondly around the GTA.
How does someone last 5 decades? You know, authenticity, reinventing yourself, staying current, and also just being very consistent. Catherine O'Hara is that, and also being a good person.
We were lucky to have Catherine come and speak with the students a few years ago. And, you know, I was struck by how, you know, modest she was, you know, because as a critic standing back and looking at her career, she was phenomenally funny, extremely talented, and very, very skillful. You know, she was someone who really understood how to be funny.
I've often heard people say they're humbled when receiving an award, but I'm not so sure that's true. My head is getting bigger as I speak.
As people learn of her passing, people in Toronto are shocked and saddened.
It's a tragedy for Canada. It's a big loss for our country. She was a stalwart kind of actor. Yeah, we lost a good one this time.
That was CTV's Beth McDonnell with a look at Catherine O'Hara's Toronto ties. All right, well, coming up, new recruits ready to serve. Later in the hour, we will take you to a badge ceremony and hear from some of the newest officers of the Waterloo Regional Police Service.
Well, we're in for another night of cold temperatures, but the good news is the sun is on the horizon for your weekend. Those details and more with your full weather forecast a little later in the show. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
It's been bitterly cold, but that's not bad news for everyone. Thousands of people across southern Ontario have been venturing onto the ice to take advantage of some of the best freshwater ice fishing in the world. But with the tourism boom comes a familiar reminder of the risk taken every time you step offshore. CTV's Rob Cooper has that story.
Even on frigid days like today, people who ice fish almost never complain about the bitter cold.
Layer up, no exposed skin. Stay inside the hut. That's the secret. Layer up.
Local lakes have become very busy in recent weeks. The cold snap gripping the region has attracted even more people to our frozen lakes. Some people are now parking their vehicles on some spots on Lake Simcoe, always a risky move, but many people heading out know despite the ice thickness, they still need to be cautious.
And watch for people's open holes that they've dug and stuff like that, but I would still be careful as soon as you get out on the ice anywhere.
Some ice hut operators are reporting record-breaking business this season. An early start in some spots and now this epic Arctic blast. The next couple of weeks are expected to be even busier with people, many of them first-timers.
It's our first experience, so I don't know how safe it is to be like in the lake like that and on top of the ice. So I want to make sure it's thick enough.
With the wind and the currents, it can change. So some spots it could be 3 to 6 inches, other spots might be 12 to 15 inches.
We're here today to officially launch the 2026 Fishing for Impaired initiative.
With help from local police forces, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, YRP will spend the next several weeks patrolling lakes, conducting ride checks with a focus on ice fishermen, sledders, and four-wheelers.
Whether it's pavement or frozen water, the law doesn't change.
Now, York Regional Police and its Marine Unit will begin patrolling the lakes tomorrow. The campaign will run for the next 2 months, and police are reminding people the charges are the same for impaired, whether you're on the road or on the lake. Rob Cooper, CTV News, next to Lake Simcoe.
And just to the west of Lake Simcoe, much of the world's longest freshwater beach will be handed over to the town of Wasaga Beach. But not everyone's embracing that change, including property owners. CTV's Mike Lang reports on how the town hopes to set things straight.
As Wasaga Beach continues its rebirth as a top tourism destination, the town will have more control in the process.
Having this area in the province's hands, quite frankly, hasn't worked.
Last Tuesday, the Ontario government changed beach areas 1 and 2, New Wasaga and Allenwood Beach, from provincial land to municipal land.
The first time in 50 years that the people of Wasaga Beach are going to have a say in what our future looks like.
It's been in the making since Premier Doug Ford announced $38 million last spring to help the town transform itself into Destination Wasaga. The province citing the town's commitment for increased tourism and investment. The change will also put the Nancy Island Historic Site under the Historic Parks Act, more than 7 acres transferred. For local businesses, the town's chamber reports some growing pains, but a positive outlook.
We need that property to expand our community, and going forward, I think it's going to be an excellent opportunity for Wasaga Beach.
However, a consultation by the province on the transfer yielded 98% opposition from more than 14,000 comments. The town's conservation resources a main concern.
They don't have the ecologists and the expertise that Ontario Parks has. When the spring comes, we're going to need to work with them and see to make sure that the protections are in place, especially for the piping plover.
Mayor Brian Smith responding with reassurance.
We'll ensure that as we go through that, we work with those experts like the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority. We've talked to Birds Canada. We'll have more conversations with those folks, and we'll make sure that we're doing what is right and what is best.
The town is planning to hold a community engagement meeting in March where residents can further share their concerns and get a glimpse at the town's progress. Mike Lang, CTV News, Wasaga Beach.
Okay, from a snowy Wasaga Beach to a little closer to home, this live look from Galt tonight. Our photographer Dave Pettit bringing us this beautiful shot, and what you can't really see is how cold it is, but you can kind of imagine it just by looking at this shot, can't you? Yes, we've had some frigid conditions. Things are going to improve eventually in the temperature department. Ash is back in a few moments with those details. Also coming up, we will set up a big night in Calgary where Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre faces a critical test from within his own ranks. And airline shares down over the latest trade war twist, the hit for Bombardier following a threat from the U.S. administration. Now I want onion rings.
I wish I could, but I'm allergic.
Things we talked about during the break, chapter 875,
Yeah.
onion rings.
Food you can and cannot eat.
Oh, you can't eat onions.
No.
That's right. How awful of me to be talking about
But you
onion
can have
rings.
all of the onion rings. I mean, it's one of those cold weekends. I'm
Yes.
also thinking about what can I stay at home and cook.
I'm thinking comfort food of some
Yes,
kind.
100%.
That could take you on a journey
This
in many
is the
different
type
places.
of weekend for an at-home big meal that you want to prep.
And for anyone who's wondering what we mean by that kind of weekend, it's going to be cold.
Yep.
It's not really going to feel like it's improved.
getting
but
better.
It's getting there.
That's right. So we have at least another 12 hours of extreme cold conditions to get through, and then things are on the up slightly. But for now, let's take a look at Galt. Dave, our camera operator.
Yes,
There we go.
there it is.
Beautiful. So you can see, it's a little bit cloudy out there. We didn't get as much sun today as I think most people would have hoped, but we also didn't get a big wallop of snow, which is great news if you just needed a little bit of a break from it all. We've had so much snow, so much cold over the last few weeks, and it's been a nice little break to just have a couple of days where, although it's cold, it's a little bit subsided in regards to precipitation. Let's get into our weather boards here because there is still an extreme cold alert issued by Environment Canada. This has now been extended into Saturday morning. Overnight temperatures tonight, we might see wind chill values near -25 to -30. So very cold, continuing at least, as I said, for around another 12 hours or so. Friday, we're looking at some flurry activity, but not a lot of accumulation with snow. We will get small patches where it is a little bit darker purple that we'll see a little bit of a heavier snow, but overall conditions improving for most of southwestern Ontario in that regard. We're going to see some clearing skies by Saturday morning. That's going to continue through most of Saturday. We might get some patches of flurry activity, but again, not a lot of accumulation is expected in the forecast in the next day or two. By Sunday, we're expecting another clear day. So even up in southern Georgian Bay, which has had so much snow, you're also anticipating another clear day for Sunday. Looking at temperatures across the country, starting on the west coast, Prince George at a very comfortable 4 degrees. Victoria, double digits above seasonal, 11 degrees there. Edmonton is even sitting much warmer at 1, Calgary and 8. In the prairie provinces, -12 in Regina, -21 in Winnipeg. So it is getting a little cooler there. A little bit closer to home in our nation's capital, -17. On the east coast in St. John's, -7 this hour. So lots of varying temperatures this time of year. Here in Waterloo region, we're sitting at -13 right now, but it is starting to feel much cooler, -21 with the wind chill. As I mentioned, those temperatures are expected to continue to drop overnight. The overnight low is -20. We're expecting around a -27 feel with the wind chill. Now tomorrow, very similar to today, we're going to receive around a -12 daytime high, mainly cloudy, but as you just saw through that futurecast, there will be patches of sunlight that is expected to shine through. Now the good news is, sun is now setting at 5:31 p.m. So we've made it past the 5:30 mark, which is great for some daylight. Back in 2019, we reached -24.5 overnight. So by comparison, that is not too bad. 7-day forecast starting in Waterloo region. Look at that sunshine, Tony. -8 for your Sunday. There is a chance for some snow by Monday, so we're keeping an eye on that. -7 is the daytime high. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions there. You're going to see some flurry activity for your Saturday, but the sun returning for Sunday and some flurries to start off your work week. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, where you've seen so much snow, look at all of that sun in your forecast. You will have a sunny Sunday. A high of -8 is expected with some flurries anticipated for Monday. All right, let's take a look at our weather watcher photo sent in from Wayne and Leona. I love this. A dawn of a new day. In my opinion, this is the best way to start a weekend.
Yeah. So I was going to say, we know this is a sunrise then.
That's right. Yes, it is. Yes, they pointed out this was, and they did say, the coldest days seem to produce such beautiful sunrises. And I simply agree. That's a good way to start the day.
It's true. If it's a cold and you've got that high pressure and you've got that nice crisp sort of feeling out there, I agree. There's something a little more dynamic about the sun.
Absolutely. And we had relatively clear skies overnight, so that helped as well.
Okay. Ash, we'll see you later. Thank you. Bombardier shares took a nosedive following a new threat from the U.S. president over certification and tariffs. Shares for the Canadian-made aircraft dropped as much as 9% at one point today. Let's go to CTV's Mike LeCouture with more from Ottawa.
Bombardier's Global 8000 is billed as the world's fastest civil aircraft since the Concorde, but it could be grounded in the U.S. as President Donald Trump targets the Quebec company as apparent retribution over the certification of an American jet in Canada. On Truth Social, Trump wrote the U.S. was decertifying their Bombardier Global Expresses and all aircraft made in Canada until such time as Gulfstream, a great American company, is fully certified. Gulfstream is a direct competitor of Bombardier, and industry experts point out there are reasons Canada has been holding off.
The U.S. has certified the Gulfstream 700 and the 800 with exemptions to look at that aircraft not being certified for very cold weather operations because of fuel line problems.
In response to the threat of decertifying Canadian aircraft, Bombardier said in a statement, thousands of private and civilian jets built in Canada fly in the U.S. every day. We hope this is quickly resolved to avoid a significant impact to air traffic and the flying public. But it remains unclear if the U.S. president even has the authority to decertify aircraft.
The only way that the type certificate can be revoked is if there is a safety issue with the aircraft.
Now, this is just the latest salvo in the ongoing trade war, which has seen Trump ramp up his rhetoric against Canada following the Prime Minister's visit to China.
You can't look at China as the answer.
In a statement about the threat, Minister Steve McKinnon said Transport Canada officials are in communication with their U.S. counterparts, and the Canadian government is actively working on this situation. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is set to face a big test tonight in Calgary. Party delegates will be voting on whether he should keep his job, just hours after he delivers what could be one of the most important speeches of his political career. CTV's Jeremy Charon is in Calgary with more.
Well, the busiest day of this Calgary Conservative Convention now underway here, with all eyes on a big leadership vote this evening. Delegates here selected to represent Conservative members from ridings across the country will vote later today on whether Pierre Poilievre should remain the leader of the federal Conservative Party. This leadership test comes as a result of the Conservative Party's loss in the last federal election. It is widely expected that Mr. Poilievre will achieve a positive result. We've been speaking with delegates, some of whom know exactly where they stand already. Others aren't quite sure yet.
Do you support Mr. Poilievre as the leader?
Oh yeah, most definitely, 100%.
It's still, when you go behind that curtain, it's still your private franchise, and you decide as you will at that time. So that's why I came to the convention to get a sense of what's happening.
Now, we're told Mr. Poilievre met with his caucus this morning ahead of his leadership review. Conservative Senator Denise Batters was at that meeting.
I'm glad to see that Pierre has taken that part of our process very seriously because, as you may recall, after the previous election, I had to bring a petition to try to force pressure on Mr. O'Toole to have a leadership review, and that's what I was asking for. And meanwhile, Pierre not only has the review, but has it at a very early stage.
Now, several Conservative MPs have taken the stage behind me here to address the crowd. All of them have hit on two kind of key themes. The first being what the party believes to be a positive result in the last election, a success in the last election, by increasing their seat count, despite the fact, of course, they did not form government. The other is that all of them were clear that they believe the best path forward for the Conservative Party is with Pierre Poilievre at the helm. Jeremy Charon, CTV News, Calgary.
Pet food has become pricey, and it has some people turning to other avenues. CTV's Alexandra Hollick is going to take a look at a cost that's been taking a bite out of budgets. Canada's ban on single-use plastics will remain in place. The Federal Court of Appeal has overturned a lower court decision. In 2023, that lower court ruled Ottawa overstepped in designating all plastic manufactured items as toxic. The government would then later ban the manufacture and importing of 6 types of single-use plastics. But today, a 3-judge panel in the appeals court ruled that Ottawa's decision to designate all plastic items as toxic was reasonable. As costs keep climbing at the grocery store, some people are also feeling the pinch when they're buying pet food. And as CTV's Alexandra Hollick tells us, it is putting pressure on local humane societies.
So this is where food is all stored and supplies for animals.
Every week, the Humane Society of Kitchener, Waterloo and Stratford Perth runs its pet pantry with treats and trinkets for animals of all sizes.
People can come in, they can get cat litter, they can get dog food, cat food, wet, harnesses, toys.
And while they're happy to serve the community, they say they're seeing more and more pet owners passing through.
The numbers of users of that pet pantry is up about 15%. So quite a significant climb. People are not able to make ends meet.
The rise in foot traffic can be tied to a rise in costs.
Pet food prices have actually gone up as much as human food prices, really. In some cases, actually even more.
Sylvain Charlebois is a human food analyst, but when it comes to household affordability, he says everyone gets a piece of the pie, pets included.
Obviously, dogs or cats aren't necessarily familiar with the economy. They won't care if it costs you, the master, more money. They want to be fed.
As for what's behind the price bump, Charlebois says it's similar to what shoppers see in grocery stores.
Labor, energy, packaging, regulations, carbon pricing.
And high costs can lead to some difficult decisions for pet owners.
They'll cut back on their own food to make sure that their pet actually eats, just like a child, basically.
Back at the KW Humane Society,
What you doing?
the goal is to keep people and their pets together and provide owners with the support they need.
We really hope people use this as an emergency only. But again, you can register. We have volunteers that run all of our pet pantries.
The pet pantry is open in Kitchener on Tuesdays and in Stratford on Fridays. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
Okay, it's time now to recap the top stories we're following tonight. Leanne Evans in studio with us. And Leanne, we are hearing tonight from the mother of a 3-year-old girl who was fatally struck in Cambridge last month.
And Tony, 7 weeks after the incident, regional police announced the driver of the vehicle has been charged with a dangerous operation causing death, which is a criminal charge. The young victim's mother says it's been a painful 7 weeks waiting for the update and facing life without her little girl. The 75-year-old driver will appear in court in April when the charges will be tested. In Stratford, the first overnight warming center opened this winter. Staff and organizers say after initially seeing 10 to 15 people each night, that number has jumped to around 25 nightly visitors as the cold weather becomes more extreme. The warming center is open from 7 at night until 7 in the morning. And during the day, it doubles as the connection center with outreach workers and other supports for people.
Okay, and it's Friday. That always means a big night in the OHL. And actually, tonight, our digital team also has a story about an OHL player suspension.
Yeah, a Brantford Bulldogs player has been suspended for 6 games. Ryder Bolton received the suspension after a game in Sudbury on January 23rd. You can find out why on our website by scanning the QR code, downloading the CTV News app, or going to ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony, you also mentioned Friday nights, big night in the OHL. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on.
Yes, we will, because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the Rangers and, oh so close. But anyway, we'll leave that for later.
All right.
Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
Waterloo Regional Police welcomed some new officers to the force this afternoon. 18 new constables officially sworn in at a badge ceremony at the YMCA Three Rivers. The officers recently completed basic constable training at the Ontario Police College.
I've seen my family in uniform when I was a child. I grew up around military professionals. My grandfather was in army, so this was always near and dear to my heart. So the uniform have like immense respect in my heart, so I always wanted to achieve that for myself.
It's a really proud day for our organization and our community to welcome them as they take this final step before they head to the road and serve our community as full-fledged police officers.
Before joining the service, they studied, worked, and volunteered in a variety of fields, including emergency services, healthcare, education, corrections, and information technology. Well, a big night for the Kitchener Rangers, and just ahead we're going to meet a recent addition to the team's roster. That's on this week's edition of Beyond the Bench.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
The Kitchener Rangers acquired overager Dylan Edwards last month from the Erie Otters. The left winger is averaging more than a point a game this season, and he tells us what he brings to the Rangers on this week's edition of Beyond the Bench.
Passing shot, good save, and score! On the power play, it's Dylan Edwards!
Dylan Edwards, left wing, and I've been playing for the Rangers for about 3 weeks now.
Quick shot, stop, scores!
I'm a competitive person. I play each game to win, and yeah, I love to compete. I love the grind. I love the everyday lifestyle, and just being around on the rink with the guys. You know, we build lifelong memories here, so these are moments you'll never forget.
Humphreys down low, dangling his way through. There's Edwards shot, pad save made by Joe Score!
I think I make smart hockey plays. I read the game well, and I'm a good skater as well. I also have a really good shot. I like to use when I get in close and, you know, kind of get pucks through and pick those corners, but my skating and my hockey IQ allows me to get to those spots.
In for Edwards. Edwards getting a good look. Costanzo gets by him with his score.
My goal is to win. This is a team that's going for it. We've loaded up. We've got some good key pieces, and thankfully been acquired by the Rangers.
There's a chance by the Rangers.
You know, that was my goal this year, was to go to a winning team and, you know, win this year. It's my last year in the league, so kind of want to go out with a bang and win a championship.
And the Rangers have been doing a lot of winning, that's for sure. All right, more news in a moment. First, let's check in with Ash.
Well, it's a perfect night to catch a Rangers game or watch some stuff on TV because it's going to be a cold one. And just how cold will it be when we wake up tomorrow? I'll have those details just after the break. Start your Friday night entertainment off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory, then Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. At 9, Happy Place is on, followed by Stumble, and finish the night off with Boston Blue at 10.
Tonight, remembering Canadian comedy legend Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, Kevin, I'm so sorry.
She is someone that has been making us laugh for 50 years.
The tribute's honoring her life and legacy later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Sarge with Bounce 99.5's 4K Double Play.
We're giving away $4,000 for 2 songs back to back.
Listen weekdays 6A to 6P for back-to-back songs from the artist of the day.
Then go to bounce995.ca for your chance to win.
Dan Lochner with that beautiful jib shot right there, by the way. Yeah, very nice. All right, Leanne's back with a look at what our team is following for later tonight. Leanne.
Well, Tony, the Kitchener Rangers are in action tonight, welcoming the Windsor Spitfires to the Odd for the first time this season as the two teams near the top of the Western Conference go head-to-head in a tightly contested matchup. And despite seeing their win streak snapped Wednesday, the Rangers are still sitting in second in the conference with 67 points. So tonight should definitely be a good game to keep an eye on, and we'll have all the highlights at 11:30. Tony.
We sure will. Leanne, thank you, and have a great weekend. And Ashley, it's going to be a cold weekend, but I mean, not as punishingly cold as it has been.
Absolutely. By Sunday, we're going to start to see a real improvement in the temperature, Tony. Double digits are long gone for daytime lows, so that's good news.
Avec some sunshine.
And that as well. Let's take a look for tomorrow morning. It is going to be a brisk start to your Saturday. Around 6 a.m., we're still going to feel around minus 28 with the wind chill, but as Tony just said, the good news is the sun is expected to make an appearance, and it will be a lot warmer.
Love those graphics.
Yeah.
Brightening things up. So they're getting ready in Wyerton.
Oh, goodness.
Of course.
Come on, Groundhog.
70th annual festivities for Groundhog Day in Wyerton. And before Monday morning's prediction, the town's going to be bustling with a weekend full of activities. They build a whole festival around this. Sleigh rides, outdoor carnival, and a chili cook-off.
Oh, that's a perfect soup for the day. But what gets the most attention happens Monday morning at 8:07 a.m., where Willie will either see his shadow and predict 6 more weeks of winter or not see his shadow, suggesting an early spring.
Yes, CTV News will be there Monday morning. You can find out what Wyerton Willie says, on our website on Monday morning. So we will watch for that annual forecast.
You know, it's all science, too, with that one. So.
Yes, it certainly is. Well, on a more somber note before we go, just reflecting on the news of Catherine O'Hara's passing, such a loss. But, you know, I was remembering all of the funny roles, but I was also remembering, I thought, where have I seen her more recently? She appears almost out of nowhere in the most recent season of The Last of Us.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I'm not going to spoil it, but the character she plays is very off-brand as far as comedy goes.
Absolutely.
It's a very serious character. I mean, there is that typical sharp, biting sort of little bit of humor in there, but I thought she was fantastic.
Absolutely.
In that role. So if you get a chance to watch that show, watch out for her in the second season.
Absolutely. You know, we gained another star in the sky today.
Absolutely. We certainly did. Another legend of the screen. All right, well, we're going to leave you with some shots of, I believe this is Chicopee.
Yep.
Am I right?
This is the Getting in the Game segment for our 5 o'clock show.
This is you.
And Leanne this week.
That's right. You and Leanne out on the slopes, getting things done, learning how it went. How did it feel, by the way?
It was okay. Leanne was a much more natural than I was, I'll say that. But it was so much fun, and the team at Chicopee treated us so well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Going to be a busy weekend on the hills.
It's going to be busy.
And that's our time. We'll see you back here at 11:30. Have a good weekend, everyone. Good night.